That's weird. No skit. Are you gonna say that's
the skit? We're not doing a skit. Roll the intro.
Okay.
What is going on, everybody? It is not Friday, June 4th, but we're going to say it is because
fake news.
Fake news.
Fake news is the one.
I'm joined, as always, by Cole and Ben, and before we get started, we want to make a very quick statement. All three of us here at the Predominantly Football Podcast we're 100% against racism. And we can all agree that equality for all is necessary. We condemn racism of all forms. The way George Floyd had his life cut short is something that no person should have to have happen to them or their loved one. What happened is not a matter of opinion. It is not a matter of your political party. What happened is that someone died at the hands of a police officer, and that's not okay. Martin Luther King had a dream that people would be judged by the content of their character, not the color of their skin, and it's time for that dream to become reality. So what happened in Minneapolis never happens again. However, we want to say we're not a political podcast, and we're not going to today or ever delve into the politics of this or any incident.
Thank goodness. Politics exhaust me.
For the sake of remaining neutral and allowing everyone to enjoy sports and have their own opinions, we'll refrain from talking politics on this platform we have.
Yes!
To finish off this statement, I just want to say to everyone, stay safe, and our thoughts go out to George Floyd and George Floyd's family and friends in this time.
Imagine if they watch this.
All right, now on to the sports.
Yes.
We got some basketball news, we got soccer news, and we got a very interesting debate for you all today. So let's get into it. Ben, will you do the honors?
Hear ye, ladies and gentlemen. We come to you with great joyous news from the world of basketball.
All right.
All right.
Yeah, now talk. Just talk.
So the NBA has released their plans for a return to play, as many other leagues
Wait,
have.
no, that's bad.
No, I don't want to get that desperate. I'll watch bowling.
This plan is
I'll watch NASCAR.
a little bit similar to the plan that the NHL released, but different. And here's the plan. The top 22 NBA teams will continue to play basketball starting on July 31st.
22 is the best number, so I am all ready for this plan.
That's a long way away, but this allows training camp starting in 25 days on the 30th.
That also allows us to get our minds right before we die and have to watch basketball.
The 22 are the 9 best teams from the Eastern Conference and the 13 best from the West. The 8 teams who were not included were deemed to be out of the playoff race, whereas the extra 6 teams were considered still in the race despite not being in a playoff position at the time of the shutdown.
Where does anybody know where Jordan's Hornets rank in that?
No idea.
Well, Michael Jordan. Man, I wonder if he'll ever come up on our show.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Spoiler warning.
So, and really, the reason why there's 9 teams in one division and 13 in the other is because
The East sucks, and the West is really good.
In one division, there was one team who had a chance of making the playoffs that wasn't in the playoffs at the time of the shutdown, versus in the West, there was an extra 5 teams that were in playoff contention.
What do you think it's probably the Phoenix Suns and the Sacramento Kings, or maybe like the Pelicans or something. How do you think they feel about that? Like, we couldn't...
Yeah.
We were that bad.
No, the Pelicans are in.
Yeah,
they made to run it late because Zion.
Who's not? It's probably definitely Sacramento. But who else?
Sacramento might be in it. They're all the 9th seed is always bad, so you have to not count out bad teams.
Yeah.
One Google later.
There's no parity in that.
I don't know why I'm making this go longer.
So,
sorry guys.
This restart will happen in a bubble-like
No
environment.
way.
What?
It's the Timberwolves and the Warriors. The Warriors missed the playoffs.
Wow.
Well, that's because Curry was out for most
Yeah,
of the
Curry
year.
was
Klay
out for
Thompson
most
had
of the
torn
year.
his ACL.
Oh my
which
God.
just shows
The
how valuable
Warriors had
Steph
the
Curry
worst
is to
win
that team.
percentage in the NBA.
Yep, 15-50.
Wow.
I mean, that's just karma for all the previous years. But anyways, continue, Scott.
They used up all their luck.
Hey, where'd all the bandwagon
really
fans
did.
go? I'll tell you where they went. Los Angeles.
So the regular season is going to be continued for 8 more games in a bubble-like environment where outside interactions between players and fans will be limited.
Yeah. Looking at you, Rudy Gobert, or whatever his name was.
So in these 8 more games, the 22 teams will be playing, 8 more games of regular season play, and then they'll be cut down into the typical 16-team playoff format with the seeding accordingly.
Man, I bet you the teams who had to play the Warriors are max. They lost an easy win.
However,
Dang it.
a new rule would allow a 9th seed to overpass an 8th seed in a play-in game if there is a less than 4-game gap between them. So if the gap between the 8th seed and the 9th seed is close enough, they'll have a play-in game, and the 9th seed can take
Oh
over.
man, that would be the perfect,
Oh, wow.
That would be
Yeah.
the perfect game for the Pelicans to be in the 8th seed and then lose. So New Orleans fans get to complain about something.
So I know the three of us don't really know much about basketball, but from my opinion and from a logistics standpoint, this seems like a really good plan to me. It seems like they took what people liked from the NHL plan and kind of improved upon it, in my opinion, because they took the teams that, really weren't in playoff
Right.
contention out of the mix.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I mean, this is exactly what the NFL is going to be doing because they have the benefit of just getting to watch everybody's plans. I don't know. It's kind of cool, I guess. Am I going to watch? No.
I like the Celtics.
Maybe if every other channel on the television turns off and then all the other TVs explode and everything else explodes.
I actually, right before the shutdown, I started watching Celtics games just because I was like, you know what?
And it's your fault.
If I'm gonna be
It's your fault. Every sport that you started watching, NHL, NBA, you got into Italian soccer,
I did not.
French soccer, you kind
did
of
not.
did. That all shut down. It's Scott's fault. Scotty's in the Illuminati, confirmed.
like I
That's
was
why
saying,
that's why you don't get that.
I watched some Celtics games just because I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna be a Boston fan, I'm gonna be a real Boston fan. I'm just gonna watch everything. And I don't actually.
Hey guys,
How is that bandwagon?
I just want to note that Pittsburgh's NBA
Do
team
you
is
see how spoiled your city is right now?
Yeah, my
You
city is
understand it, right?
awesome,
Can we
but
acknowledge
So
though that
spoiled.
Pittsburgh's sports team, with Pittsburgh's NBA team, has never lost a game? Pittsburgh is the GOAT, confirmed.
yeah.
Yeah.
Cole, what do you think about this?
I don't know. It's good if you like the format that they had. I didn't really like the format that they had because, as I said before, there's zero parity in that league.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is demonstrated by the fact that the Memphis Grizzlies have a losing record are in the 8th seed.
Hey,
The Orlando Magic have a losing record and would be in a playoff spot. The Brooklyn Nets have a losing record and would be in the playoff spot. That's just
Nets.
Nets.
in the NBA. You don't see the Cinderella story because they let an 8 seed play the 1 seed, and it's a sweep every single time.
Yeah.
Are you
There's
going
no
to sit
such
here
thing
and
as
tell
a-
me that Orlando will beat Milwaukee?
No. There's
No.
no such
No,
thing
you're
as
not,
a Cinderella
because
story
I don't
so
think.
long.
No disrespect, Orlando. I think they agree. In this part, they agree.
Guys, at least it's not the days when it was LeBron versus the Warriors for like 4 straight years.
Yeah, at least now the
Now we
Warriors
actually
are
wonder
bad,
who's
and
gonna
LeBron's
win
in the
the
same
playoffs.
conference. So if even if the Warriors were good, it would still be a battle because they would be in the same conference.
Yeah.
But what I do like is that this is a very biased opinion on my part because I support the Denver Nuggets.
Cole, every opinion we
there
have
are
is
several
biased.
teams that were
There are no
very
impartial
good that have
opinions.
officially now clinched a playoff spot, Denver being one of them, the LA Clippers, Utah Jazz, Oklahoma City, Houston Rockets, Indiana, Miami, Boston, Toronto, LA,
Teams that
Lakers,
have clinched.
Milwaukee, those teams had already clinched. And then I think Philadelphia maybe.
I'm not sure.
I think Philadelphia. Considering how bad every other team is in that conference, I'm going to assume, yes, that Philadelphia did clinch. And the Dallas Mavericks have basically clinched.
Because
But I'm intrigued to see some of these races play out because Memphis, Portland, and New Orleans, those are the three main teams. I mean, yeah, Phoenix, Sacramento, and San Antonio are technically alive, but I'm looking forward to see Portland, New Orleans, and Memphis duke it out for the 8th spot.
Yeah.
Because the East is just tragic at this point. And yeah.
East has been tragic. They're just going
to... The 8th seed in the NBA, according to Cole, is just tragic.
It is tragic. They need to cut it down. I mean, now I can say this because the Denver Nuggets in the previous years were always fighting for that 8th spot, and I was like, yes, the 8th spot. But now the Nuggets are a top 3 team in their conference, so I can say, you know what, 8th seed, you can leave. Bye now, 8th seed. Because they're just going to get swept or lose in 5 to the team that is number 1, and that is just not fair to any fans watching. Or any announcers calling the game that is over, probably by halftime, if the outcome is what it normally is.
It's like the first 2 weeks of college football, when all the Power 5, the first 3 weeks before conference play starts, when all the Power 5 teams are wearing my Penn State shirt, not sponsored by Penn State, although I should be, because go Penn State. When all the Power 5, like Penn State goes out, and they get to play the Titans like Kent State, Akron, Georgia State. This year they get to play San Jose State, not even San Diego State. Great Titans of the gridiron, and they just get to go out and score and then when conference play starts, they get to play Maryland and Rutgers and score like 60 points, put their scrubs in at halftime.
Yeah, whereas.
But I do have one more question with the East, though. So I'm looking at these standings.
That's what you get for starting
and
referees.
Washington has only won one more game than Charlotte. Granted, their win percentage is a little higher because they played fewer games, but still, it's like
wait, no, they're the Hornets.
Charlotte's out, Washington gets in. You might as well just lock up Orlando into the spot. I mean, unless they majorly choke. Like absolutely bomb out, lose all of their games.
You know who Lee Corso is, right?
They're in.
I think
with the Nets.
The Nets or the Mets?
I think
the Nets.
Because you're like the Nets. The Mets are in the playoffs. I'm like, well, I mean, they got DeGrom.
I think
DeGrom and Thor, man.
I think the big thing or the big reason why they're having the 10-game thing, and it's not really because, or the extra 8 games. Sorry. It's not exactly because they're like, all right, we're going to give teams a chance to make the playoffs. No.
It's because they want to punish us.
It's because the teams need their games before they go into playoff basketball.
Yeah.
You can't just jump right into playoff basketball.
Can't just
there are 2 reasons. 2 reasons, okay? First of all, Zion is good. Zion is very good.
Yeah.
That Pelicans team was atrocious before he got there. If there's any team, and I'm not saying they're going to do this because I don't think that they are going to beat the Lakers, right?
No.
If there's any 8 teams that could beat the one team, it's them.
Yeah.
And I think that that's still about a 0.5% chance, less than 1 to do it. But that's probably the best shot that any team has had in my memory of knocking off a 1.
Yeah.
And I'm interested to see if they can actually get there. Because first they have to get there before they even think about that. And then it's also, the purpose is to duke out the top seeds. Because now you have a nice... LA is probably going to be your 1. The Lakers, they're probably 1.
It's a chance to
but
fight
the Clippers, Denver, the Jazz, and frankly the Thunder and Rockets, they're all in it for those spots. I mean, right now I would say that either the Clippers or the Nuggets are going to be your top 2. Maybe the Jazz have the outside shot. And then in the East, Toronto and Boston are going to have a nice battle for those top 2. So in terms of 1 through 6, and in the West, 7, it's interesting to see. It's also for seeding to see who gets where, because that can be important. Because you don't want to play the number 1 seed in the West is especially important because the top 7 teams are good; they're very good. Right. Below that, it's absolute garbage. So you want to get that first round bye basically, in order to get to the next round.
Man, if it's the Lakers and the Pelicans that Anthony Davis is going to get like quadruple doubles every game. just because LeBron every time he takes.
Oh, LeBron's gonna be.
LeBron's just gonna throw him alleys all game just to dunk all over the Pelicans.
Well, LeBron's just gonna be like, wow, I'm not
LeBron-
getting double. Okay.
LeBron's just gonna be like,
This is a new.
we've got Anthony Davis, we have Kyle Kuzma, we're playing the Pelicans, who's Giannis and like 4 other taxi drivers. I think the Lakers substitutes also work concessions. I think Taysom Hill is gonna start at shooting guard for the Lakers. Not the Lakers, the Pelicans. Just because why not?
Taysom,
So, yeah.
go
So-
help the Pelicans win.
So LeBron,
That's what.
hey,
but,
we're not sponsored by Grammar Heights.
Um,
Again, so LeBron's just gonna be like, ow, my finger. I can't play against the Pelicans because of a. What did I say? Finger. What finger is it? This one.
As he's limping off the court.
yeah. No, but
It's like-
the interesting thing.
Michael
there would
Jordan's
be
like, what finger is it? He's like, this one. I can't show you guys that.
the interesting thing there would be like, it's New Orleans
And Los
and Los Angeles.
And in the finals, it could be Los Angeles and Milwaukee.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, right now that's the favorite
Yo, if the Pacers play
finals
the
matchup. I mean,
if the Pacers play the Celtics, you know Brady and Manning will be talking, and then Buccaneers fans will be like, "What? He's talking about Boston still. He doesn't love us." Man, Brady went from having to root for the Bruins to having to root for the Lightning.
I don't know. Manning
Yeah, that's
shows
a
up
good
at a
That's
lot
gonna
of
be
switch.
pretty weird when it's Game 7 between the Bruins and the Lightning, and Tom Brady's in Amalie Arena. It's like, "Hey, Boston, my finger hurts too, and I have to keep it straight."
Why would he be giving the Boston team the middle finger?
Because he's rooting for Tampa Bay.
Yeah, but why would he give him the middle finger? He lived there for years.
I don't know.
He don't-
Brad
I mean,
Marchand licks people, I guess.
I don't know.
Why does Brad Marchand lick people?
I mean, he basically gave them the middle finger when he left.
Yeah, he
so I
already
don't
gave
know.
us the middle
why-
finger.
why
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 does
would he
David
give him
Pasternak
now?
drink coffee in the penalty box? Which is actually a great commercial. Cole, you know the commercials where Pasternak drinks Dunkin' Donuts in the penalty box?
Yeah, that's so funny.
There was one where, like, Pasternak takes a penalty, and then they'll run a little commercial on the side, and it's that commercial.
Yeah,
And
it's
Doc
Pasternak
Emmerich, the guy,
in
and he's
the
like,
box.
"Are you guys as confused as me?" Because Doc Emmerich is a living. All right, Monday's show is
Yeah, I
about
remember
Doc
watching
Emmerich.
that. I was pointing it out to my dad. I was like, "Look, he's in the box." And
I think it was actually the same penalty too. I think it was still the 2-minute like cooking. Hey, pasta, large cold brew? No, I got 2 minutes. No, the lightning power play is really good. Better make it a small.
Do you sell Tom Brady's?
Huh?
I said, do you guys sell Tom Brady's?
All right. On that note, we're gonna move on from basketball. Woo! We did it, guys. We made it through.
I don't know.
So I
Basketball was that was a fun discussion. We should
It
do that
was.
more
I
often.
guess.
I guess, yeah.
I mean, it's got the fact that it's basketball working against it. Like, online school was pretty good. I mean, yeah, but it was online, so it automatically got that working against it. It's like, how was work today? Work was fine.
But it was work.
Work could have been
Work.
brilliant, but it was work.
Yeah.
So it was fine. Jesse's like, "Ben, are you excited to go to work tomorrow?"
No. Why
You
would I
don't
be
get excited. I'm working a summer job. You don't get excited to go work for that.
Yeah.
Unless it's like your career. And even then,
Yeah.
man, I couldn't imagine how that.
All right. So, like I said, moving on. We're going a little out of order today, but we're gonna
Wait. What'd you say?
Shifting gears.
Yeah,
I
you're
mean,
like moving on. Good for Scotty.
shifting gears.
Scotty's making changes.
We're going.
It's
a
your
li-
catchphrase. You have to use it.
Going through changes.
We're
say
going
that quietly
going a
this
little
year.
out of order this year or
This
today.
year.
See, now you messed me up. Look,
This
guys.
year we're new year, new me at the Bernal.
So you hear that, folks? We've cut down the amount of podcasts we're doing. It's going to be a lot less stressful on us. It's now once per year. This will be the last one of the year.
We're gonna do
We'll
like
get
a
back to you
24-hour
next year.
show.
No, we just
We're just
ended
gonna-
2020.
We're just gonna
That's
chug
what
Red
happened.
Bull and Mountain Dew and eat lots
we
of
just
Skittles.
we just ended 2020. That's what we did. No complaints from anybody on the planet. So yeah, like I said, we're going a little
Well,
out of
I like
order
2020.
today.
2020 was gonna be my year.
Because we're going to save the big debate for last. So we're going to talk a little soccer right now. There's not really much
Just so
news
Cole's mic muted.
outside of the fact that Chelsea have all but wrapped up, or actually no, when I was writing this earlier, they'd all but wrapped up the deal for Timo Werner, but it's been confirmed now.
Ooh.
Timo Werner is on his way to Chelsea. They just got to dot some T's or cross some T's and dot some I's and stuff.
Awesome.
What would a dot on
some
a T
T's
do?
and cross
I'm
some
a little
I's?
curious
Oh my
about
God.
Now you
that.
got big eyes and
Would
little
that just
T's.
be a big I?
Yeah, you got big eyes and little T's. Scotty's like, you got to cross the T and dot the I, and then you get Timo Werner's contract.
But you don't even really dot the I. You put the dot above the I. Or is the dot just still part
The
of the
fee
I?
that was agreed on was
Do you give the I an I?
was $49 million for the Leipzig striker. And it's kind of unexpected because
Dollars or pounds?
I left that out on purpose because I didn't know if it was dollars or
Because
pounds.
like 90% of the time when it's 45, a nice clean number like 49 million.
Yeah, I'm
that's
gonna bet
in pounds.
I'm
and
gonna
it'd be
bet.
like
I'm gonna bet.
37 and a half or something.
Yeah, I'm gonna bet it's in
pounds.
pounds because it's an even number, and we're talking about
Because it's it's a
we're
or
talking
not a
about
half.
or not a half, yeah, and we're talking about teams in
Conversions.
Europe. So, yeah, I'm gonna guess it's
Predominantly Football Podcast, supporting math and philosophy of the alphabet.
Ooh, what if it's Europe? What if it's Euros?
It could be euros too. Who knows?
This is Econ 101 with Professors Lebo, Isaacson, and Prantle. I just said our last names.
So,
I can try
Chelsea
this.
kind of swooped in last minute here because about a week ago or so, everybody thought he was going to be going to Liverpool.
Which is exactly what they need. Another
Yeah,
young
another
forward
another
who can
great
score a lot of
player. No.
goals. Cole's just like, yes.
You know,
Yeah,
my
definitely.
opinion on
Yeah,
this.
Liverpool, they got a
Every
lot of
year.
good players.
My opinion on this is really that one is once again it's like the instance of a team that's good because they have a lot of young talent and they've been good at identifying young talent and bringing them up to be very good, or finding younger talent on smaller teams.
50 million pounds.
But it's just, to me, it's kind of sad to see the big clubs poach the good players from the small teams. Because Leipzig is a good team right now, but in a few years they're not going to be as good because
They lose all their guys.
they're losing all their
Yeah,
players.
at least they're not
because
losing them to Bayern Munich.
yeah, that's the
That's
thing.
something.
They're leaving the league. As far as Liverpool didn't really need Timo Werner.
No, Liverpool doesn't really need anybody.
They have Divock Origi at striker, and they have Roberto Firmino at center forward. So they're kind of set in the attacking sense. Whereas Chelsea, they could use another striker. I mean, we've got a lot. We have Giroud and Abraham and Batshuayi, and now Werner. So that makes 4 strikers. But Abraham was inconsistent this year. He started off really good, but he ended up inconsistent, faced injuries. Giroud's getting old, and he was inconsistent
Giroud's
as well.
slower than me.
He's slow and inconsistent.
Slower than me.
Batshuayi was supposed to be the star for this year, but in preseason, he got benched because he wasn't good enough. And
Because he's bat sugar honey iced tea.
now we've got Timo Werner, who is supposed to be on his way to being a world-class striker. So hopefully for me, not hopefully for Ben, he might be able to fix the Chelsea problem that they've had for years.
Hopefully he
at
creates-
striker since Didier Drogba left.
Hopefully he creates new problems. So for those of you who were wondering as much as me about the weird conversion rates we're talking about, 50 million pounds, which is what the deal was, that's $62.93 million.
So about $63 million for this guy.
It's just weird numbers because 1 pound equals $1.26.
Cole's looking at me like, wow, that's a lot of money. And I'm like, Cole, Neymar got signed for like
220 million pounds. No,
yeah,
euros,
like,
wasn't it?
Look, you got to find this. He got
220 million pounds, $276.9 million.
276.
And then you have to start
Wait,
paying
did you
him.
look it up? No, you got to look it up. You got to look up
Neymar fee
how
and
much Neymar transfer fee.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous.
And then you have to start paying them. Like, Werner's getting paid £1/5
Put
pounds
the
a
fee.
week.
Add fee.
Oops.
Otherwise, it's going to talk about the fact that he might get transferred back to Barcelona.
222 million euros. Ooh, euro to USD.
Yeah, that would make more sense because it was.
Oh my goodness. Okay, 251
$251.45
million
million for Neymar.
And then you have to start paying this guy.
Yeah, and then you have to pay his contract. That's money that goes directly to
That's
the
just
other
what
team.
you pay to be able to sign him.
Yeah, because instead of doing trades,
Yeah.
you pay the other team.
Cole's just like
Cole's
visible
so confused.
confusion.
Yeah, so
There's
if,
much-
if
Well, I'm
Ben,
not confused. I'm just astonished.
There's much
Yeah.
confusion.
If
because
Ben is-
And frankly,
confusion.
I don't think that you know this when we're doing our NFL GM thing or
Yeah.
our own little season. I'm a cheapskate for players. It's like you say, yeah, it's worth this much. I'm like, no,
yeah,
That is very
That's
true.
so true.
nobody is worth that much.
I will
money.
pay Trent Williams $2.
I
He's
mean,
earned enough
like,
money.
I'm not going to pay this guy this much. It's just not worth it.
Cole is
when
the
I can
kind of
give
person
this
we
much
need-
to like 5 other players.
Cole is the kind of person we need doing like college scholarships to keep from tampering. He's like, what do I get if I come to play for your school? You get a shiny nickel and a lollipop. Come play for Alabama.
yeah.
Come play for Cal. We got nickels.
Yeah, it's kind of weird when you're playing like.
They
Or,
changed their
like,
name to the
I
chemists.
don't know. Like if Ben's over here, he's the coach, and he's got Kylian Mbappe. Because Kylian Mbappe, there's been rumors about him getting transferred just because he's the best young
I have
player in the
best
world
game
right
plan
now.
ever. Just
Like-
kick the ball to the side and let him run after it.
Yeah, the cost of Kylian Mbappe right now. I mean, he's 20 years
How much
old,
was
and
he
he's
transferred for?
it wasn't very much back then. He's 20 years old, and he's probably like top 5 best players in the world, and he'll end up being the
Oh
best
my.
player in the world, in my
He's transferred
opinion.
for
When-
180 million
yeah. So
euros.
he'll
It's gonna be
he-
so much more money.
He'll be one of the best players in the world in a few years. Honestly, if PSG were going to transfer him away, I would say it's probably $300 million plus to get Mbappe
Yeah.
right now,
Yeah,
which is like incredible.
just buy another Neymar.
Yeah,
That's
you
what
know
he
what?
wants. He
I'm
wants a
learning
team just
stuff
him.
when we do this. I'm learning that soccer players make a crap ton of money, and it's
No,
better
but
to
here's
be
the
a
thing.
soccer player.
They are not
If
making
you're
They
that
don't
money.
make any of that money.
they don't get.
You don't
any
get
of
any
it.
of that
Not
money.
making any of
That's
that?
what the team
No,
gets.
that's what you pay. It's like a trade.
In that case, it's great to manage a soccer team.
No, but it's like the
Um,
team gets. Oh my gosh.
No,
it's so
Neymar
weird.
probably gets paid like £500,000 a week.
Yeah, I mean,
They pay them
they
by
still,
week for
they,
some
s-
reason.
That's still a lot of money.
They still make
Yeah,
a lot of money.
That's a lot of money. You pay them by the week.
Yeah,
which
they
is
get
weird.
paid by the week, which is really
Which is
weird.
like, I don't even get paid by the week.
It confuses me a lot when
I
I'm
get paid
playing
by the
FIFA
month.
career mode and I'm just like, wait,
am I saying
what contract is this guy going to want to take? Because I don't know how to pay a guy by the week.
Right, that's so dumb. $12 million a year, that should be pretty good. Wait, no, you want it by the week.
Yeah.
$12
See,
million a week? Yeah,
I've
we'll
ended
just
up, I've ended up
compromise.
having guys like Mbappe say they don't want to play for me because I offered them an insultingly low wage. Whereas I've had like guys that are like so low be like, yes, of course I'll play for you because I'm offering them like $500,000 a week because I don't understand what I'm doing.
When I hear his name, I just think of a Babla, but that's just
Nah,
wait, what is
that's
Mbappe.
just
He said
a
Mbappe.
Babla.
Mbabla? Who's that?
Who's that?
A
What is
Babla.
What is that?
That's from Aladdin.
Oh.
Mbabla? I'm thinking like Agrabah? Agrabah? Did they name the Cave
No.
of Wonders in the new one?
No, a Babla is the one where Aladdin said
Oh,
he
yeah,
was
Prince
from,
Ali of
even though he
Ababa.
lied.
Oh, I got you.
Ali
Okay,
of
'cause I'm
Babla.
like-
That's what his name sounds like, so
I'm
I'm,
like,
just gonna
who's
call
a
him
Babla?
Babla. from now on.
Mbappe. Yeah, all right.
Babla.
Mbabla. Cole's like...
He's a Babla.
That's about all for the
The
real.
Cave of Wonders like, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Ababla.
Every time I try to move on, you guys are like,
'cause
no,
we
let me
like-
make another meme.
Someone needs to make a meat. So I'm rolling with the M&M. Now this looks like a job for me.
That's what we do, Scott. We keep the show spicy. We keep it
Okay.
fun.
Yeah, Scott,
Moving
we have to
on.
keep all 20 of our viewers entertained.
Moving on from the real soccer.
The
news.
humor
Oh
did
my
so
gosh.
well for us.
Like, hold up. Can we make fun of our friends who don't watch this show for not watching this show when we get back to school? Should we make
Yeah,
fun
of
of them
course,
for that?
of course.
I thought
I
that was a given.
plan on making fun of them.
Yeah.
Are they
Yes.
even our friends if they don't watch?
No.
So basically, it's like they want something. Oh, you don't watch our podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Watch our. See,
Yeah,
the first
we might
video,
wanna-
the first
I
one we
don't
did
know.
has so many views,
It's almost nice.
and then like it's almost nice. But then we started making jokes. But then the second one, I blame Snotty because I flubbed up the intro. And he's like, Ben, you're just talking with your friends. And then I started making jokes. And then we all started making jokes. And now nobody watches anymore. And then
Because we don't talk about sports anymore.
I wonder if people just watched the first one and they're like, this is not good. Well, if you did,
You're wrong.
go work for Podbean or something. Coles is like,
Yeah,
whoa, Ben,
that's what we
let's
can
be nice
tell.
to
That
them.
can be our inside joke. We can, anytime somebody
Go
we're
work
like
for
not happy with
Podbean.
something, we can say, you know what? You can go work for Podbean. Okay, go work for Podbean.
Coles is like, whoa, Ben, let's have some mercy on these
That's
people.
very
good. Yeah.
They just didn't watch us. It's not
Anyway, Scott,
Hitler or anything.
you were shifting gears, right?
We're shifting gears from away from the real soccer news
That's why. Which one do
into
you say shifting
the
gears?
predominantly football soccer news, and Cole is going to pick his favorite soccer
Yes,
team
we got a
today.
questionnaire. We're going to come up with questions on the spot.
We've got
Well,
questions.
I have a question first. I've
Okay,
been
okay,
thinking
okay.
about this, and I have a specific team that I don't know the name of the specific team yet, but I assume that you're going to tell me what the
Cole's
specific
like,
team is.
I don't know the
Okay.
team.
I want the New England Patriots of soccer. I want the team where it's like you hate them because you ain't them. I want the dynasty. I want the team that wins.
Man United!
No, that's not Man United. That's
I
not
want
United.
I want to
Man
bandwagon
United's
the
the
crap
Steelers.
out of this.
It's Barcelona.
That's the
or
only
Real
way to
Madrid.
do
Oh,
it.
yeah. I was thinking of England. Man United's like the Steelers.
I
Hashtag
want-
20
I want,
times.
There's,
like-
honestly, it's really
I want
because
like
we
the
gotta go
dynasty that
Champions
hasn't-
League wise.
That seemed like it started so long ago, and it's nowhere close to stopping. That's what I want.
Yeah. We're trying. I'm trying to go Champions League wise here.
No,
like
let's give him a
who
team
wins-
in
Right
the
here?
championship.
No.
And then get mad at them when he doesn't watch Blackburn Rovers get demoted again.
The big thing is I don't really see any team that is dominating consistently on the major European stage year in and year out. There's many teams that dominate in their league year in and year
Yeah.
out. Like Barcelona and Real Madrid dominate their league year in and year out. PSG, Bayern Munich,
Bayern Munich
Juventus.
dominates in the league, but then gets owned in the semis by
Exactly.
Barcelona.
Like these teams, they dominate in their own country's league, but on the entire scale, they can't put up the big numbers. That's why
So,
it's always
do
a
you want
different
me
team.
to pick a British team?
No,
that
I
what
really
you
don't
like?
care. Let us ask us here. Let us ask the questions. I was so
It's time to
prepared.
play. Not quite 20 questions.
Yes. All right. Here we
Who
go.
wants to be a jillionaire?
Do you want a team
Wheel
in
of
Europe
monetary earnings.
or not in Europe? And here's the big thing: Europe is the big soccer like network.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to go Europe.
Okay.
Cole's just like,
I
I
think
want to
that
go to
was-
their games. If I'm picking this team, I'm going to their games. MLS all the way. Because if you call it football, I don't want to be your friend.
All right. So, what else were we gonna ask him?
You were the one I did.
Okay, let me
what part of Europe do you want?
Does it matter like what part of Europe or
Do you
have
want
a
like
certain
the
country in
North-
mind
Yeah.
or something?
I
Like that?
mean,
Or like a region.
I want the team, realistically, I want you to say, oh, this team beat this team. And I want the second team to be your team. And I want to be able to make fun
This
of
is
you guys
why he
for
picked
it.
Ohio State.
Yeah.
By the way,
This is exactly
why
why I
Cole's
picked
a
No,
Ohio
we're not.
State.
We're
Ohio
not.
State
We're not.
fan.
We're not letting him ask the questions. We're asking questions.
Yeah,
Do you
we'll
want-
ask the questions here.
Do you want an offensive team, like a team that's going to go out and score a bunch of goals, or you want a team that's not going to let the other team score goals?
Are we
That depends how much they win.
No, they still win.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
okay.
say-
How do you want them to win?
Clearly, you want a team that's going to win. We'll give you a team.
No,
that
he
wants
can
to
Oh,
root for
win.
Queens Park Raisins.
See that really
I
puts
want
out what I was
want a
hoping
team
for. I
that
wanted
like
to
wins
cheer
a
for
lot,
Wolves.
like a lot. But
Okay.
I guess to answer the question, I think that offensive is going to be more flashy and exciting,
Okay.
and that's going to keep me invested in the
doing
game.
the cutback.
Or if I'm just watching people, I know this soccer is more than this, but my understanding of soccer is people running up and down the field, taking the ball from each other, and
Congratulations,
then
you
no goals
described
were
every
scored.
sport.
And that's just, I'm sorry, but as not a true soccer fan, that's just not exciting.
Congratulations.
For me.
This
So we're
is-
going to go with lots
You
of
have
goals.
described every sport
just
on the
cringes-
planet.
cringes
okay,
the hell out
okay.
of me.
So Scott, we just decided Scott is going to be the good cop. I'm going to be the bad cop because that's more fun for me. So,
Okay.
are you okay with a team that hasn't necessarily won a bunch yet, but is really promising? Like it's pretty
Yeah.
clear they're going to start winning.
They're going to
soon.
start winning now.
Do you want to hop on the bandwagon before the
Yeah. Are you
bandwagon's
hopping on a
thing?
bandwagon?
Before it's a thing? Then you could say you're an original fan.
Well, that depends. How long is it going to be a thing?
What? Wait, what do you mean?
How long are they?
Like,
gonna
how
be
long-
winning?
like,
how
is
long
this
is their
like-
success?
I don't know.
Yeah, how long are they going to keep winning? Is it going to be like 2 years out? They're done, oh well.
Well, no.
Or is it going to be like 20 years later? I'm still saying,
Maybe
yeah,
not-
we're the best.
Probably not so long as 20, but not 2.
Yeah.
Cole, if you
Well, there's
I
a
don't
big
think-
difference between 20 and 2. And
yeah,
you
I know.
need to-
That's maybe like
I would say the
10-ish?
average team would be like 5 to 10
Yeah.
years from now.
you're gonna burn out after 3, Cole. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
Well,
I
I'm not
mean,
gonna
the
care
Premier
after
League
now,
specifically
but,
is always pretty up.
Yeah,
in
the
the
Premier
air.
League is really up in the air.
Yeah, and if you want to cheer for a team that's going to be playing against our teams, you want a Premier League team.
Right.
If you want a team that's going to win, you want to go elsewhere than England.
So what do you care more about?
All right, in
Or
that case,
competition?
we're going elsewhere than England.
All
I want
right,
a
so
team
England
that's
teams
proven.
are
I want the
so
team
now
that's
you're-
won, and then I want the team that's going to keep winning.
All right,
They're the same team. So you're deciding to hop on a bandwagon instead of
All right.
being the first one and saying that, hey, I was there when we finished 10th. You're a fake fan.
Absolutely, Ben. Thank you.
We've got okay. I'm
Not
trying
a
to-
question.
That's why he's an Ohio State
got-
fan and not like a
Well, I mean,
an
the fact that
Appalachian
you guys
State
both hate
fan.
Ohio State has
Or
a
a
lot
UCF
to do with my
fan.
We've got
choice there. But
5 teams, I would say, right now that can be considered.
West Brom.
No, I'm not. We got to save them for later.
I don't want to
You
know.
could
who you're
you could
talking
think
about.
about them pretty easily. But all right, and he said attacking. I think all of these teams are attacking.
Okay. 2 Spanish, 1 German, 1 Italian, 1 French.
Yes. All right.
Good.
Okay. So let's see. Do you want a team that's good because they have had good players on their team for a long time, or you want a team that's going out and buying players every year? They're just spending money every year and getting better and better every year. You want a team where you're going to know the
that
players
depends.
year in and year out, or they're buying
Or
and
revolving
selling?
cast.
I don't really care. I think is the answer to that.
Okay.
What's your favorite color?
Yeah. What do you have a color? Actually, I'll say
A uniform
Do you have a
color.
uniform color that you would like, or a uniform color that you would say absolutely not?
I'm going to tell you this. Out of the 5 teams you have, right?
Yeah.
Out of 5 teams you have, pick which one has won. They've all won already, right?
Yeah, they all win.
Okay, so pick which one's going to keep winning down the line, and then you got it.
That's all of them.
Beautiful. Okay, in
That's
that
all.
case, whichever team you dislike the
Realistically.
most probably is going to be my
Okay,
top selection.
No, we're not telling you
We
that.
will ask the questions here.
We're asking the questions. Come on.
Well, pick
All
a color.
All right.
Good
I'm
and or
gonna
bad.
tell you. I'm gonna tell you all the colors, and you're gonna eliminate. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're gonna start Spanish. We got white, checkered blue and red.
Just start. Just go one at a time. White.
No. He's got to eliminate 2 teams from this.
Oh, okay.
By color, or no, white, checkered blue and red, white again, dark blue, and red.
Well, the other white team has black, right?
Oh, it's the other white. The second white team is white with black stripes.
Or black with white.
I have
stripes.
a team in mind, to be honest.
Did you watch Madagascar
I do.
too?
I do have a team in mind, so I'm trying not to eliminate that team.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm being a little careful here. I don't really know. I have an idea of what their uniform is. I don't think it's that, but based on how much soccer uniforms change and
Yeah, that's
how
true.
different they are,
The core
I
elements
can never
stay the
be
same,
careful
Well, not-
enough. So
Mostly Mars. Yeah, true. But they're still the same.
Are you gonna eliminate teams or no?
am I gonna? Well, I want to make sure I don't eliminate this one team
Take a
that I'm thinking
chance.
about.
Cole, we're gonna make it as impartial as I can.
Yeah.
So you want me to tell you the team?
No.
just say the color.
Say color. One of those colors.
And then we can like compare and contrast or something.
I don't.
The fact that he doesn't know
which,
the color
Which
of
one
the
has
team. he
yellow
said.
there? Which one has red and yellow?
There's no team that
Is there a
wears.
team with
That's-
red? There's
Nope.
no team that wears red and yellow, and
No.
I have no idea.
There's no
Or-
team that wears yellow. There's a team that wears red. Do you want to get rid of the red team?
There's
No,
a
I
team-
want to keep the red team.
Is he
Keep
thinking
them.
of? Is he thinking?
Keep the red team.
No, Dortmund's already been eliminated.
Yeah, I know.
If you're
I'm
thinking
wondering if that's what he
yellow,
was thinking of.
that's
Wolf
the
was
yellow
like,
team.
All right, keep the red. Keep the red.
Keep the red.
All right.
How many teams does that leave?
Okay, wait.
Still 5. You didn't
How
get rid
mu-
of
okay,
anybody.
I don't. Do you want a team with a good goalkeeper?
I don't.
Because if he says,
I mean, I'm gonna say yes, but if the 3 teams that you've given me are not one of, if mine isn't in there, then I'm going to retract that statement.
All right,
and
so-
yeah.
all right, we've got 4
just
teams.
Wait, no, you actually know we already did.
We got 4 teams. So we need to get down to 3. All right, I'm gonna name the position that this team's best player plays in, and you're gonna tell me if you want to keep them or get rid of them. You only have to get rid of one team.
I have a team that I want.
You only okay, fine. Well, okay, fine.
There's no team that wears yellow that's in this still.
Well, I thought they were yellow.
You don't get to choose ahead of time.
You don't get to choose, Cole.
Come on. All right.
The choice is not yours. The truth does not set you
fine.
free.
All right.
How about this? I'll keep going with no. I'm gonna get this team out of my mind if I don't
Good.
get them.
Okay.
Okay, because I don't really care anyway.
Exactly. That's the point.
For the
all right.
first time, we're trying to be unbiased here.
Team 1, their best player plays right wing.
Okay.
Team 2. Team 2, I guess, would be their, I don't know, center mid. They have 2 really good center mids, so you could say they're center mid. And then we'll go Team 3, their best player is striker, and Team 4, their best player is striker.
Okay.
I think we're going. It's tough between the left wing and the strikers.
Ooh.
Whichever one
Nice to
has
center mids.
none of them is out. So there's your 3 teams, and then there we go.
Whichever team has what?
Whichever team didn't have the left wing or the striker.
Okay, so we're getting rid of the center mids team. All right, so we've got our 3 teams.
Yeah, who's the center?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
okay, I thought I had them switched.
Ben,
Okay.
Ben is a little confused
I'm
here
trying to stay
because
with the program here.
he's not as up to date in soccer as
Yeah,
I
well,
am.
no, I know all their names. You're just not telling me stuff.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to think out loud here without giving stuff away to Cole. Okay, me and Ben are going to go to a break so we can discuss further these issues.
Time out, as Andy Reid would say.
So we're going to go to a quick break. Can you hold the elevator? Because
Yeah, I got you.
we're going up. All these hotels that are on You know, I would tell you guys to do something, but whenever I tell somebody to do something during this middle part, nobody ever does it for 2 reasons. If you are watching, you skip over this part, and nobody really watches our videos anymore.
Maybe we should just stop saying jokes. This was a fascist podcast. Cole wants that sled push to Vancouver.
You know, if we really wanted to, we could stop this early and people would miss our podcast.
I don't think people would notice.
All right, we're
Oh, the
back.
intro didn't play. Hey,
Yeah, I was being careful this time. All right, so we're back. Me and Ben had some time to discuss,
Oh, it was planned to have it there.
and
Dang, that was big brain.
and
Should really read the script.
Cole, we're gonna tell you the 3 teams, and if this team that you didn't already have in mind
Hold
that
on,
you
let
already
him say the team first.
what's the team?
Barca.
Barca?
Barcelona.
Barcelona.
If he's gonna call,
Yeah,
Barca,
you can have. Yeah,
You're not allowed-
Barcelona, Bayern Munich, and Juventus are the 3 teams.
He's not allowed.
Yeah,
to-
Barcelona.
Okay.
I'm going
If you're gonna say
I'm not
Bar-
mad about that.
Yeah, if you're, but if you're
I
gonna
looked
say,
up their uniforms and I saw that it was red and blue checkers, and I was like, I hope I didn't eliminate that one.
Yeah,
I,
no.
was like, I
Barca,
really
though,
hope.
you're not
I
allowed
knew
to
it was
do
in the
that.
top 5 because of that, which was good.
honestly though, if you're
Yeah, if
call
you're gonna call them Barca,
you're not
you
allowed.
might get rejected by their fans.
Oh, I might. All
Yeah.
right, in that case, I'll stop doing that.
But let me tell you, if you're becoming a Barcelona fan, one, I'm not gonna be mad at you at all.
No.
The only thing I'll be mad
That's
about.
unfortunate because that was kind of my goal. But that's
The only
okay.
thing that I'll be mad about is a few years
Should have
ago,
picked an English team.
Barcelona beat
Oh.
Chelsea in what's considered one of the most poorly officiated games in football history.
Yeah.
Like,
Barcelona beat.
really bad. I mean, Barcelona is one of the richest clubs in the world, so
Oh,
they could
okay.
pay
I
the
see where that's
refs if you
going.
know what I'm.
A few years ago.
Actually, I'm gonna tell
Chelsea
you.
could have paid the refs.
That's
too.
true.
Chelsea
Chelsea's
just should have given him a better offer.
everybody's pretty rich and.
Why didn't Chelsea just give him a better offer?
I'm gonna tell a quick little joke that I know from a few years ago. I'm gonna tell 2 soccer jokes. One, what's and this doesn't really work in here. I'm gonna pick a different. Oh, Ben? What's the difference between Manchester United and a tea bag?
Money.
The tea bag stays in the cup longer.
All right. Hashtag.
I got that one.
Hashtag 20 English titles. Hashtag you can go mine.
And
I didn't know what to bleep there.
The other one is like, so a Manchester City fan goes to the church and he says, God, when will Manchester City stop paying the refs? And God says, in 5 years. And then a Real Madrid fan goes to the church and he says, oh, I don't know. And then the Manchester City fan says, oh, I'll be dead by then. And then a Real Madrid fan goes to the church and he says, God, how many years until Real Madrid stops paying the refs? And God says, in 25 years. And the man says, oh, I'll be dead by then. And then a Barcelona fan goes to the church and says, how long until Barcelona stops paying the refs? And God says, well, I'll be dead by then.
Yeah, I'm surprised Man City with all their oil money.
Yeah.
When you go to church.
All right, we're going to shift gears. We're going to move to the main debate of the day. And I teased about it a little bit in the last episode, which up to this point 0 people have watched. But I'm gonna let my idea come to fruition now. We have many sports to talk about, and we're going to talk about the GOAT debate. Who is the greatest of all time in every sport? That is not a GOAT noise.
Why was the cat sound effect?
Well,
I don't know.
There's no sound effect. There's no like Cole's like, actually, Ben, that's more of a Cauliflower sheep, not actually a goat.
It's time for us all to look like idiots again, and we're going to start with basketball.
What are you talking about? Oh.
I just made a goat sound effect. Do you honestly think it gets worse than that, guys?
Jordan or James? The debate
Who cares?
as old as James has been in the league.
Well, I didn't watch Michael Jordan. I don't watch LeBron. Scotty's got some logic that he took from somebody else that he's going to share later, but that he prohibited me from taking from him. So,
well, okay, Scott, why don't you share your logic?
Okay, I'll start off.
How about
start
just
us off.
like Larry Bird, I guess?
I'll start us off. I'm going to say these 2 things, which I stole from people, and these are not my own ideas.
That's the important thing.
And I have no idea where they came from originally. I just saw them on this app that is named after the sound a clock makes.
Nice. That was wow.
So basically, the first one is LeBron James can't be the GOAT because he's known most, or his best ability is assisting. This is what I think. I think it was Colin Cowherd who said this.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because this came from
Colin Cowherd. He said he's not Jordan. Jordan went out there and he put up points and he led the team in scoring and was the best scorer. LeBron James gave it to other people to score. Can you really say he's the best because he was good at passing? He had good teammates around him, and in Cleveland he didn't. In Cleveland he didn't have the best teammates around him. But yeah. And then the other one was, imagine this, all right? If I go to a girl's house, if I go to a girl's house and her 6 times.
Whoa!
I go to her. I go to her house 6 times, and
that was all on him.
all
None
6
of us
times.
planned that.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Or I go to a girl's house and I 3 times, but I went 9 times. Which is better? 6 for 6?
I feel like there were so many better ways. That
Yeah, I know.
probably, you know.
This is just the way I heard
so
it.
many
Here's
more
my
PG
argument
ways
on the
to make
debate.
that analogy, but
Here's my-
I
see,
see
here's my personal
I see where you
opinion.
are with this. I get that.
Here's how my opinion affects that debate. Let's say I go to a girl's house.
Okay, we're gonna keep it up. All
Let's
right.
say Michael Jordan goes to a girl's house 6 times and he her 6 times without her consent. Then LeBron James goes to a girl's house 9 times and her 3 times with consent. Who's the GOAT now?
How does that even relate to? I'm so I don't get where that relates
All
to
goats.
basketball.
Without consent.
All right, here's the plan, guys.
Confirmed.
I'm going to figure out a way to just bleep out that whole last conversation, and it'll just be like, so here's my analogy. You ready? Beep for like 3 minutes, and then
No,
it goes back to normal.
that was gold. I think I had gold logic there.
We're keeping it PG, boys.
Yeah, I'm gonna have nightmares.
That's
after
what we're gonna
that,
say.
but-
That's what we're gonna say is PG. We're gonna draw the line there. Now we're gonna draw the line
Hey,
there. Okay, that's
PG.
it.
I mean,
PG.
I do get the analogy though.
So everything up to going to a girl's
house.
house 6 times and her 6 times without consent is cool. We're not allowed to cross that line. I just want to be sure.
That's a line.
I just
That's
want
a
to.
line. We can't
That's the
cross.
line.
That is a line.
I just want to be sure for if I do a
Definitely a
base.
line.
I just want to be sure.
Frankly,
'cause-
Scott was coming close to the line. I don't think Scott crossed the line necessarily. I think he definitely touched it like he was doing suicide. But
But Ben is doing.
Ben-
this.
all right, all
Ben's
right.
doing the
ran
40-yard
through the
dash.
wall.
Let's get back to
Ben's-
sports.
Ben's doing the 40-yard dash.
Let's get back to sports.
I just wanted to know for when I have my own baseball show.
Cole, do you have
Delegated.
an opinion on this?
Get
I
consent?
think they're both good choices.
Yeah,
obviously,
yeah.
'cause-
No. The one
But
with
I
consent
think
is-
that the way I look, I mean, at least in Cleveland, that's the only chance I've actually had to watch LeBron James. I guess Cleveland, and then throughout there, I didn't get to watch him when he was in Miami.
Yeah.
And I obviously didn't get to watch Michael Jordan. But what I remember about those Cleveland teams was that how bad they were besides him. And he ultimately
And how much
They
they
got there
crashed
every
after
year.
he left.
Yeah.
I mean, they only won once, obviously, and it was a 3-1 comeback.
Yeah,
in
and they
Game 7.
crashed hard after he left.
Both times.
They really did.
Both
They're,
times,
they're
really.
still one of the worst teams in the league to this day.
That's a good point.
And he did carry them. And I
Yeah,
remember a couple of games, you're not going to like this, a couple of games against Boston in the Eastern Conference Finals. He's putting up 50 points on them. And
Yeah.
he's single-handedly
Scotty.
he's single-handedly getting his team to the final. And don't worry, you don't have to worry about him anymore. Now Giannis is your problem.
Yeah.
But
Giannis, who also
I
beat
have
the
Giannis.
Bucks
I don't-
last year.
frankly,
Who
that
also
might
beat the
be worse,
Celtics
but-
last year in the playoffs.
Yes, I know.
There. So
he was getting, even though he wasn't winning, because the Warriors team was just a team of destiny, I guess you could say, because Durant, Thompson, Curry, yeah. I don't think you need to say any more about that. But he was getting him there single-handedly, especially after Kyrie left.
It's pretty impressive
Yeah.
that you can win a basketball
It's very
game
impressive, but
It's
I
pretty
do
impressive
think,
because
because
basketball
when you
players
think
are
of
good for dribbling
basketball,
with both hands.
who do you think of?
Cole, how do you shoot a basketball single?
LeBron James.
No, I don't think of LeBron James. I think of Michael Jordan.
I think of Gordon
LeBron James.
Hayward, forward for the Boston Celtics.
I think of
Because Scotty has a knife and I'm scared for my life.
I mean, the first
I just think
basketball
of
player that I ever
look
heard
at
of.
Curry, man.
Yeah,
Before-
guys, it's
Like, I
June.
wasn't-
Why isn't Flight
I
in
wasn't
this?
saying-
Flight can do all of that. And he
Yeah.
can play football, and he can play hockey, and golf, and basketball, and tennis, and bowling, and golf. I already said
Cole,
that.
what were you saying?
Flight's the GOAT. Boom,
Basically,
discussion over.
the first basketball player I ever heard of was Michael Jordan.
Yeah,
And Michael Jordan
same.
is just like regarded as the GOAT. He's like,
Yeah.
and I know
But-
this is going to come back to haunt me when we
Guys.
talk about football, but I'm going to say it anyways because it applies to here very well. He's just he is.
This is why
He is what
Scotty
he is.
made this conversation.
And I think that
Just to get us to.
I'm not going to argue. If somebody says Michael Jordan is the GOAT, I'm not going to argue with them. That's the bottom line.
But you're
there
gonna
are
argue with me
plenty of
later when I
cases
say
for
Brady is
LeBron
the GOAT.
James, obviously, and that's why he's in this
And Ben's
discussion.
gonna back me
But
up.
I'm not going
No,
to.
I'm
I'm not going to argue with
I'm
it.
gonna
You know.
say, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Belichick is the GOAT.
We're gonna move on
Okay, really quick though.
to hockey.
Really quick though.
No, Ben.
No, I'm not gonna make a bad joke. I'm just gonna say that the first basketball player I ever heard of was my mommy, the basketball coach at our high school who gave birth to me, and then my sister who's playing Division II basketball. Why don't we have her here? Should I send her a text? I'm gonna send her a text.
All right, moving on to hockey. This is all you guys. What are you thinking?
The
I think this is a pretty quick debate. I don't think it's a debate.
I disagree.
Ben, what?
I disagree.
Oh wow, he's gonna be the homer in this one.
No,
Just like
I'm not.
later,
Actually, I'm not. I will have you know. And I'm going to say
Yeah.
that is not Gretzky.
Huh?
It's Lemieux.
Who is it?
Lemieux.
Lemieux?
Yeah.
All right.
Cole's like, who's the fuck
I
is
mean,
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! No!
did he just say what I think he said?
Yes, he did. Everything we built.
I think I crossed the line.
Hey. Every PG.
Okay, what time is it?
Wait. No,
55. I gotta come.
Listen.
I gotta go back to that point when I'm watching the video.
Listen.
We gotta comment
No,
that it's
listen,
like 55 minutes. You'll
Listen.
enjoy it.
Every PG-13 movie is allowed one F word. Okay?
No, not ours.
That was the one F word for the entire series.
We
That's
talked
it.
about not consensual sex.
I got hiccups now. I almost said the
All right,
bad word.
go back to your Lemieux debate.
I got the hiccups.
Just the
Okay, so pretend like nothing happened.
Are we just gonna cut that out?
No, that has to stay. Scotty, I ran out of the
No, it
building
doesn't.
screaming no.
I don't know how to cut stuff out. I'm not that good.
Okay, so
No, how about just pause the recording, trim it down.
no,
I
Right
can't.
there.
we
Okay,
can't. We
technical
tried that before.
difficulties.
We tried that last time.
It doesn't
with-
trim,
with-
man.
Who was it? Was that?
Doesn't trim.
Yeah, it doesn't trim.
Yeah.
That is.
I know.
Okay, so
Yes.
Gretzky, he has the record for most goals, 792 goals. Gretzky played on some incredible teams with some incredible teammates. And he earned the nickname of the Great One, but he earned that before Lemieux was doing his thing.
Yeah.
And Lemieux did his thing. He turned cab drivers into 40 goal scorers. I know this goes back into our argument about excuse me, I got the hiccups. The best versus the MVP. And I said that before we started. I'm like, this is just going to turn into the best versus the MVP. I personally think Gretzky is... God, I almost said it again. I almost said it again right there. I had to fight the urge. I think Gretzky is second. I think Lemieux is first. And I think Ovechkin is well on his way to breaking the record. And me, I got the hiccups.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm not as well versed in the historic part of hockey as you are, so you know what? I think that if you say Lemieux is the greatest of all time, I'm not necessarily going to argue with you on that. I do think that when you think of hockey, who do you think of?
Yeah, I think of
Right.
Gretzky.
Cole's just
You
like...
think of Gretzky.
Yeah,
There are people that pay no attention to hockey. All they know is that it's a puck, right? And there's a net, and yeah,
You hit
they know it's
people
played
on ice.
Yeah,
That's what they
Gretzky.
know, and they've heard of Wayne Gretzky.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean,
That's
Gretzky was playing with dudes like Paul Coffey,
Yeah.
or Coffey, and like
But-
Yarmir. Oh no, Yager played.
The other
Young
thing is-
Yager played with Lemieux. I know this because I have like NHL '84.
Gretzky is one of the few players out here that we're going to end up talking about that is not the record versus not the records versus championships argument, because he has records and championships.
right?
Like in football, we're going to argue, okay, this guy has records and this guy has championships. What's more important for this?
Right.
Gretzky got both,
Yeah.
but
Gretzky got game.
yeah, and then again, but this is the most valuable player versus the best of all time.
Yeah.
It's just it's a
we
weird
did that.
argument.
We did that again. We could do that. We could do that.
But
for
I
you
think-
guys
I
if you
think-
wanted on a day where I don't have the hiccups and we can We can put like a disclaimer, like warning: this video is R-rated, not suitable for children.
We might have to do that. Just a heads up.
Is that gonna go in? Is that gonna be the
It might.
the title of the video? Ben says a non-word at 55
Video
minutes.
could just be-
Go to 55 minutes and then you can leave the video.
Ben tries to go to college, and it's just like that video surfaces.
No, Ben tries to run for president, and this video is gonna surface. All right, Mr. Prano.
Well-
we've been looking through some of your past things.
I don't
you were
think-
on record in an episode of the Predominantly Football Podcast. Oh no, where you not only said the F word,
But you talked about non-consensual
you talked about
sex.
non-consensual sex. I
Well,
was
here's-
using an
Here's
analogy.
the bright side. Here's the bright side to all of that. People will watch her videos now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we got
people will go
views.
through.
If
People
Ben
will go
runs
through.
If Ben runs for
president,
president.
Yeah,
can you imagine how many views we're gonna get?
Middle America
Yeah.
will challenge Middle America will challenge the mainstream media and say that is bull. I'm gonna go through and watch it and like,
And then they're like,
oh my goodness gracious,
no.
Rachel, get the Bible.
He actually did say it.
My mother, I'm glad she doesn't know what these podcasts are called. She's gonna be watching like, oh, okay, non-sexual sex. That's my father's son. Oh, he said the F word. That is my father's son. My husband's son. It is a bad day for me. I'm kicking a chair.
All right. So me and Ben are gonna move on to
I think this is why I'm still on the podcast.
a calm discussion about soccer. Messi, Ronaldo, Pele. They're the favorites in this conversation. Pele did it on really good Brazilian teams. He turned the team around, but he created a new style of soccer.
Right.
And really,
he
you can't
created-
argue against Messi and Ronaldo. What they've done is
Yeah.
incredible.
Sick. Cole's like, as a diehard Barcelona fan from the day I was born, I personally have to side with Messi in this debate.
Yeah, well, we got one vote for Messi.
Nah. I've already made a fool of myself enough, so I'm just, I've made enough of a fool of myself, so I'm just gonna say Bruno Fernandes and leave it at that.
Yeah, I'm just gonna.
Wow, no comment.
I've come to the point where I expect this type of thing from you, Ben.
You're just like, what are you gonna say next? That Terry Bradshaw the GOAT. I'll say he was the first to win 4 Super Bowls. I'll have you know.
So
I'm just gonna be like, Zen.
you know,
yeah,
Messi
Messi,
has-
because why not?
Messi has the most Ballon d'Ors. He's won the best player in the world the most
And
times.
hasn't Ronaldo scored
Ronaldo
goals?
has international trophies,
And
they both
he
have
does
won,
have the one international trophy.
They both have won Champions League.
Has
They've
Messi
both
got
won La
his-
Liga.
Has Messi got his 100th Champions League goal yet?
I don't know,
'Cause
but
I know Ronaldo.
the big thing for me is, I think, it's really hard to say, but like, I think Messi started doing it from such a younger age. He's always been so good. And when people say that Messi is talent and Ronaldo is hard work, but Ronaldo was born, and I mean, a lot of soccer players were born into poverty, and I know the two of them were not the exactly rich kids being
Messi was a
being
midget.
grown
Ronaldo
up.
had heart problems.
But yeah, Ronaldo had heart problems, and
Messi was a
Messi
midget.
was grown with a growth hormone deficiency.
Messi was a midget.
But this is still something that Messi has to deal with because Messi is undersized. He's an undersized player.
I'm
Ronaldo's
not saying the F word there, although I thought
Ronaldo
about it.
is an athlete. Ronaldo
Huge.
is fit. He's one of the most fit people
fit as a fiddle.
in the world, and you just can't argue with that. You take one look at this guy; he's incredible.
Yeah.
But I've got to go with Messi. It's just the way he dribbles the ball, the way he curls the ball,
The way he can just
the way
find people and I feel it's
yeah, the way he passes the ball to somebody that you would never expect him to see, the way he scores free kicks from ranges that you would never expect him
Cole,
to
if
score
you're
from.
thinking about something, I was in Washington, D.C. on a summer vacation in 2015 in the Copa America semifinal.
He
Watch the
scored-
highlights of the U.S. versus Argentina. He scored one of the greatest free kicks I've ever seen.
You want more Messi highlights? Just look up Messi free kick compilation.
The dude's insane.
You'll be busy for a few minutes at least. He's the GOAT. A lot of people will say it's Ronaldo, but for me, it just has to be Messi.
I mean, Ronaldo played for Man United.
So I would say I think we've.
¿Cómo se dice goat en español?
I have no idea.
Lionel.
I think there's 3 votes for Messi there. Yeah.
Yeah. Cole's like, yeah.
Three votes for
I watched
Messi.
Messi my whole life, and I think I know more than you guys about Messi.
All right, that was easy. Now we're gonna move on to the actual debate. You know those button things. I wish I just had one of those so I could press it right then. So I'd be like, that was easy. You know what I'm talking about?
The Staples buttons, the easy button.
The easy button. Is
that was Staples or Office Depot.
I have no idea.
Can I say Staples? Haven't they been out of business? Am I allowed to say Sears?
I have no idea.
Can I use Sears?
You're allowed to say it. You're just not allowed to show a logo or a brand.
Am I allowed to do that
Cool,
for Sears?
don't copyright us.
Am I allowed to do that for Sears? They went out of business.
Well, I don't know about a logo, but you can say it. Don't show anything. Just don't show anything. which really isn't a problem because this is a podcast.
Showing my hand.
All right. We're going to move on to the thing that's actually going to be a debate. We're at 105.
We should have the alarm bells. You go.
Yeah, well, I was going to say we're at 1 hour and 5 minutes now. My bet is this will take a while.
Oh no!
I think this will take 5 years.
I don't have any
everybody
hurry
get
up.
comfortable.
I don't have any hurry up
just think,
questions.
Ben.
Just heads up, there will be no bending by anybody on this issue. This is a debate that we've all had before.
I can't believe he's not going to.
I am gonna
All right,
acknowledge
wait.
it. It's gonna
Here
be
we go.
begrudging.
It's a debate time. That's not a good alarm.
It's a car alarm.
Where's a good alarm? There's no good alarms.
Turn off my phone.
All right. We're getting into it. Here we go.
I'm looking.
Cole,
I'll
would
tell
you
when
like
I
to
find it.
start?
Well, I would like to. I guess it depends on what your interpretation of it, I guess, is.
Wait, no.
That's not what you want to do, Ben.
Well, he wasn't talking, so I did the
Crickets.
cricket. Yeah, because Cole's like, well, I guess if you have to interpret.
All right, go, Cole. Go ahead.
Well, it's the interpretation because you could look at it and say, yes, Tom Brady has won 6 Super Bowls, therefore he's the best, which a lot of people do, and you know what? I don't necessarily blame them for it. It's a reasonable thing to say.
Don't look at me.
Like you said earlier, he has won 6 Super Bowls. That is as many as any franchise has won. But
Wait, two
I
franchises.
argue for Peyton Manning. I do argue for it, and I feel like this was a much more of a hot topic back in 2014 or even after 2015, before Brady had won 6 Super Bowls. This was more of a debate. It sort of died out over the years, understandably, because Brady has won 6 Super Bowls. That's fine. I do think that in terms of who was the better player, I think it's Peyton Manning, because he was the offensive coordinator for every team he was on. He was. He carried a lot of teams. I think that Peyton Manning is the best player of all time.
Well, he was carried to his last Super Bowl.
Wasn't
He
Tom
was
Brady
carried
carried
to
his
his
first 2 Super Bowls?
Yeah. But
Because he finally had a team with a good defense.
And
but
I will say, just not trying to interrupt, but you can't, if you're going to say that Brady was on good teams, then you have to admit that those Colts teams, especially early on in the two of these guys' careers, were good teams.
Yeah.
Those Colts teams were good
Yeah.
teams. Brady's going to the Super Bowl with teams that
Although
the year
to
before were
although
like
to
4 and
Manning's
12.
To Manning's credit, they were the number 1
Yeah,
pick, and
yeah.
then they were like 3 and 13, and
That's
then they
true.
got really good. So just to his credit.
Yeah.
I mean, the way I look at it, that has a lot to do with what's on the sideline. Brady, until now, because he's left for Tampa, Tom Brady has had 1 head coach
Yeah.
throughout his entire career until now, and that was Bill Belichick, who's regarded as the best coach of all time. And Peyton Manning, Peyton Manning has gone to 4 Super Bowls. To put this in perspective, he went to 4 different Super Bowls with 4 different head coaches. He went to his first Super Bowl with Tony Dungy, second one with Jim Caldwell, third with John Fox, 4 with Gary Kubiak. And I think that speaks volumes, that he can do it with
By
4
different
different
systems,
people
yeah.
at the helm.
Yeah,
knowing
I'll
that
give you
he is the center of what's going on in that team, not the coach.
Yeah.
He's the center. He's the reason why they get there, except for that last one, obviously. That was the Denver Broncos defense carrying him to that Super Bowl. But still, I think that speaks volumes.
I think I'm gonna talk because I know Sky's
Yeah.
getting his stats from Boston. From Boston.
Okay, whatever. This is just
I'm-
it's a
I'm-
list of
I'm-
records.
I know. I think there's so many great quarterbacks who all have so much to say. Like Brett Favre had a passing touchdown record. Drew Brees, Dan Marino.
Drew Brees has great stats.
Yeah.
Dan Marino.
Dan
has
Marino
great stats.
put up stats
Marino,
on really bad
yeah.
teams.
Yeah.
Never won a Super Bowl. You can argue that with every quarterback, that every quarterback has something that makes them the GOAT.
Yeah,
Things
I
that
mean
Montana
all
did.
of these
Bradshaw won-
these great
yeah,
quarterbacks.
yeah.
You can't argue that.
I'm
they
going to
can
use
make
this one
those.
because I know this example better. Bradshaw, first to win 4 Super Bowls, called his own plays. Everybody
Yeah.
has their own way of saying, well,
Mm-hmm.
I'm the GOAT. I have this record. I have this record. Dan Marino's is like, well, if I was on like some of these Niners teams in the 90s, or Niners and
Yeah.
Cowboys, if I had Emmitt Smith and Michael Irvin
Yeah.
and a good offensive line and a owner who could spend money, or if I had Bill Belichick and some really good defenses that are able to win games
Yeah.
late in the year in December and January by just being able to out-coach and play better defense, or if I had the weapons that Manning had, like Emmanuel Sanders, Julius Thomas, Demaryius Thomas, the running back, I forget.
Marvin Harrison, and then there's also Reggie Wayne back when he was in Indy.
Yeah.
Dallas Clark.
Or if I was able to play with the steel curtain and like Joe Green and Jack Lambert on the other side of the ball who could put pressure, and I had Stallworth and Swan playing wideouts, I could do that.
Yeah.
So can we argue? And everybody has their own way of evaluating it too. Some people say, "Oh, well, Brady's got the most rings, therefore
Yeah.
he's the best," and some say, "Oh, well, he threw the most touchdowns, therefore he's the best."
Yeah.
He threw the most yards. He did it in the worst situation. I think it's in every scenario arguing the GOAT, it's impossible to truly come to a consensus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no
I
There's
wholeheartedly
always
agree.
going to be a debate.
because everybody has their own way of thinking. You could look at Pele and say, "Oh, well, Pele played in a completely different era."
Yeah. Pele created modern
In
soccer.
baseball, which I decided not to do just because I couldn't pull stats up in time. You could say, look at Ted Williams, Babe Ruth. They're playing in completely different eras. There was the steroid era, the dead ball era, and nowadays where you're hitting home runs all the time.
Yeah.
You're not really bunting. It's all about the home run. Chicks dig the long ball. Every sport has evolved.
Yeah.
And every quarterback has evolved to what he had to do. So, are we going to get to a GOAT? No. I don't think we can truly know that we can write it down in the history books as this person is the definitive GOAT.
Yeah, I agree.
Unless we have the technology to put prime Tom Brady against prime Dan Marino on the same exact teams with the same exact coaching and see who wins,
Yeah.
which we obviously can't. Although that would be quite the show.
What was I going to say? Oh, wait. I'm like, don't even need to make my argument right now because Ben just argued against making arguments. I'm like,
All right, this has been the Predominantly Football Podcast, everybody.
This is why Ben wanted to go first because he's like, all right, we're going to cut this in half. Cole's already done his argument. We're not going to let Sky do his, and we're not going to let them debate. It's just over.
And you wanna know why? You wanna know why?
I gave you nothing.
Do you want to know why?
I'm prepared for second time around. I'm prepared for third time around.
Cool.
I'm
Do you wanna-
prepared for fourth.
do you wanna know why
I'm
I'm not
prepared
letting
to go
Sky
all
talk?
night if you want.
Why?
The Patriots, that's why.
Okay. All right.
Not about saying the real word there. If I hadn't said it earlier, I probably would have.
Here are some records that Tom Brady holds, and a lot of these are winning records, which
Which makes sense because
Sky's
he has
just
no
like,
Belichick.
Sky's just
Yeah,
depressed now. It's
but-
like, what's the point anymore? What's the point?
yeah, and if you ask me who did more for the Patriots, Brady or Belichick, I'm gonna say Belichick 100 times out of 100.
Yeah.
But I still think, yeah.
Right.
All right. Most career wins by a starting quarterback, including playoffs. 245 career wins. Most games over 500, including playoffs. Brady's all-time 245, 70, and 0 record puts him at 192 wins all-time over teams that are above 500.
All right. Nice.
Most wins by an NFL player, including playoffs. So that earlier thing that I said about quarterbacks, he also has more wins than any kicker, because we all know kickers have super long careers. He's more career wins than Adam Vinatieri.
Oh, nice.
By 9 games.
Wow, that's impressive. Vinatieri could take that record back at the
Actually, how old is this? Because I think that's not true anymore.
No,
this
it's from last
is
year.
true. This is true. This is
from last year.
Yeah, and I know this one is not true anymore. Most regular season wins by a starting quarterback, 215. I think Breeze has that record now. Am I correct?
I'd imagine so.
Regular season wins.
Breeze takes about every record that you think someone might have, so that
Breeze
makes
has a lot
a
of
lot of sense.
But this one, most wins by a starting quarterback for one team. Yeah.
Well, yeah. That's
Most division titles by a starting quarterback. And yes, he was in a poor division. But to win to win the division 16 times out of your 19 seasons. Most consecutive.
I mean, you also have to account that one of those times was when he tore his ACL.
Yeah.
So that's another. Yeah.
Right.
Most consecutive.
So really, it's 16 out of 8.
And one of them was his second year in the NFL.
Right.
Or, no, his third, because his first year he didn't play.
Technically his third, because, his first he didn't start.
Yeah.
2002, the Patriots, I think they finished 8-8 or some odd record like that after winning the Super Bowl for the first time. So,
Most consecutive division titles by a starting quarterback. It says 10 here. It's now 11. And also that division titles thing above, it was 16. It's now 17 because this is from 2019. Most wins by a quarterback after trailing by 10-plus points since 2000, including playoffs. 32 wins after trailing by 10-plus points. Mm-hmm. And that's the big – I'm going to stop there because the records are just going to keep going on and I want to save some for later. But this is my really big argument. Although Brady has been on some great teams with some great defenses and he's had great coaching, there has never been another quarterback who can be clutch in the fourth quarter and come back like Tom Brady.
Right. This is the part you need to cut from the video. Tom Brady was the best at doing what he needed to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
That's just what it was.
It comes down to the fourth quarter.
Drew Brees may be more accurate.
Yeah.
Dan Marino may be more talented.
Peyton Manning might have more stats.
But Tom Brady was the best at doing what he was asked to do.
He did what he had to do to win the game.
And that's what puts him up. Everybody had different responsibilities. Tom Brady was the best at just doing his job.
This is one thing that always gets me.
Kill me.
Sometimes watching, and this didn't happen as much in the later years because he got old, but Tom Brady's a slow guy, and he's a pocket passer. But you watch Tom Brady for as long as I have, you see him, there are times where he rolls out of the pocket and he runs. Tom Brady's running the football. There's one specific video that highlight that I want to talk about where he jukes Urlacher. And I'm not going to mention it. I'm not going to mention it because he juked Urlacher. I'm going to mention it because he had the guts to run up the field at Brian Urlacher.
I'm not impressed by that because I've seen Jerome Bettis run right over
Brian
Urlacher on the goal line.
He's one of the best defensive players.
That takes courage for a skinny quarterback to look right at Brian Urlacher and say, okay,
exactly.
Let's do this. I'm going to die today, but I have my affairs in order.
And I think it's something different to say, like, Brady was the best at doing what he had to do. That's different than other things. But Brady knew what he had to do to win. Yeah. He knew how to motivate a team to win. 28-3, you need a quarterback who's going to lead your team.
Right.
They don't win that game if Drew Brees is their quarterback. That's my honest opinion. They don't win that game if anybody else is their quarterback because Brady led them. Brady knows what to do in those situations. How many times have we seen it where Brady's down and he comes back in a crucial game?
And I love Peyton Manning, but just to potentially jump the gun here, anybody says that about Peyton Manning, just ask him about his idiot kicker. And again, I love Peyton Manning. I think the guy's great. But ask him about his idiot kicker, Mike Vanderjagt. Just had to say that. Continue. I feel so bad myself right now.
I And when I look at it, when Brady won Super Bowls, he had good defenses. Right? There's no way against arguing against it. But you cannot say that Brady was ever carried by offensive talent. You could maybe say that in the undefeated year, well, they didn't win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Every Super Bowl, and I would say probably outside the first 2 Super Bowls, maybe only the first one, every Super Bowl outside of those, Brady carried the team. Because those first few games, yes, Brady was young and they didn't trust him as much, right? They run the football. But you watch the games later. You watch the Seattle game, you watch the LA game, you watch the Atlanta game, and you watch these games and you're like, all right, Julian Edelman. I love Julian Edelman, but he's a quarterback in college. And yes, Belichick found a talent here, but I don't see him being as good as he's been in his career on a different team. Danny Amendola, and this is one thing that's true. Like, when Wes Welker left New England, and Cole, you can answer this. Like, his production was way down in Denver, right?
It helps that.
Don't I know?
It helps that Wes Welker's brain was the consistency of mud.
Yeah, but like Brandon Cook's production in Los Angeles wasn't as good as it was in New England that one year.
That was the other way around.
Yeah.
Well, he was the number one guy that year.
I'm going to jump in on this argument in particular. I'm going to rebuttal everything else you just said later, okay?
Okay.
This one I can jump right now.
It's already been an hour for me.
Where is Demaryius Thomas right now?
Old and retired.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And how did he do once Peyton Manning left?
How did he do before he was with Peyton Manning?
Not incredibly well. He wasn't at superstar level. He was good.
He was good.
He was a solid receiver, obviously. But really, he had the game against Pittsburgh that Ben remembers very clearly.
Yeah.
He was plagued with injuries, to his credit,
Yeah.
2010. 2011, he had a good year. I'm not going to say an awesome year, but he had a good year.
Yep.
Once Peyton gets there, this guy's a superstar.
And I'm not going to argue that.
Once he leaves,
Yeah.
what is he?
I'm not going to argue that Peyton Manning doesn't do that as well.
No.
But I'm just saying, like Thomas had the production, and he wasn't the best. He wasn't superstar level receiver, no. But he had production before Manning. Yes, he was a good receiver before Manning, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Danny Amendola was like, no, the Rams didn't want him. Like you watch there's this one Julian Edelman highlight video that I love to watch, and it's like all the talk in that year before after Welker left, right? And they're talking about Brady's receivers now, and they're like, "You're talking about Danny Amendola and Julian Edelman? Are you kidding me? Nobody wants that. You got 2 slot receivers as your 2 primary targets, and yes, you have Gronk.
Gronk helps.
That helps, but you have 2 slot receivers as your primary targets. I forget what year this was, but I don't know. Maybe it's 2013. I was just talking to you guys about this the other day when New England had that comeback against the Saints.
Yeah.
That year, New England wasn't the best. Their receivers were Danny Amendola, Julian Edelman, Aaron Dobson, Kenbrell Tompkins, and Austin Collie. Realistically, if you're not like a Patriots fan or watch Patriots games, you wouldn't really recognize the names Kenbrell Tompkins or Aaron Dobson because after they really left New England, that was it, right? They were rookies, and I wouldn't even say they weren't good with New England. And Edelman and Amendola. Gronk was hurt that year, right?
Yeah.
Brady?
Well, Scott, do you remember which year that was?
I don't remember, no.
I can tell you. It was 2013.
Yeah.
Because that's when that Saints game that you're referencing happened.
Yeah.
Do you want to know where the Patriots got to in 2013?
The Super Bowl?
No, they went to the AFC title game. You want to know who they lost to in the AFC title game?
Broncos.
The Broncos. And who was the quarterback of the Denver
Peyton
Broncos?
Manning. Well, I'm not arguing that it's that Brady was. I'm arguing
And also,
that
I have
that that's a bad
you can
team.
get to this.
I'm arguing that this team was a bad
stats
team.
in 2011. Okay, I have them.
Okay.
He had 32 catches on 70 targets for 551 yards. Granted, he played 11 games, so he was hurt for a little bit, but still 11 games. With Manning in 2012, once he got there, that 551 quickly went up to a 1,434 with 94 catches from 32 prior. And his catch percentage went from a 45.7% with Tim Tebow to a 65.7% with Peyton Manning. So that's the 20% increase in how many times that he's targeted, how many times he's going to catch the football. And I'm going to assume that has a large amount to do with the throws that he's getting.
Didn't they run mostly RPOs and stuff with Tebow?
I mean, yeah, but still.
Yeah.
But
So if Manning goes in, and what are you going to do? You're going to run an RPO with Peyton Manning?
No, but the point, Cole, my argument there wasn't that New England was super good that year and that they were going to beat everybody. That year, me and my family, me and my dad, we weren't expecting New England to be good. They almost lost to a really bad Cleveland team. But they won.
Yeah.
Because Brady, at the end of the game, took bad receivers down the field and scored a touchdown. Same against the Saints. They weren't a good team. Their number one corner got hurt in the third quarter. Aqib Talib went out. At the end of the game, Brady went down the field and threw a dime to Kembrell Tompkins.
Yeah.
Nobody ever heard of Kembrell Tompkins after he left New England.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Brady did it that year. He went to a conference championship.
Sorry if you're Kembrell Tompkins.
Yeah.
Kembrell Tompkins or his mom. If you're one of our 20 viewers, we apologize for
but-
the slander.
Like,
Please go to at Predominantly Football Podcast on Instagram. Send us a message. We will send you a check.
apology.
We will send you an apology, maybe a check.
No check. We don't have money.
If your reason is good enough,
Yeah, that check's going to bounce pretty quickly.
Yeah,
we'll send you a 2-cent check for slander.
I forgot what I was saying now.
Oh no.
Well, you think about
Oh no,
it.
I guess Brady's not the GOAT.
Okay.
Oh no.
Well, while you think about it, I can make some points, all right?
All right.
So I'm going to be neutral for this first part, and then I'm going to get into my opinion. I'm just going to say the facts here, and we'll see what we think of them. We'll start with I have a bunch of stats here. I did some research in the 30 minutes because I read this pretty late, so I only had like 30 minutes to work on this. I got the 3 quarterbacks that I think are the 3 best. Of course, there's some disagreement. I think that Drew Brees, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, those are the 3 that jump out to me.
Yeah, I was really scared that you weren't going to put Brady in the top 3.
But those are the 3 that jump out to me. Let's start with pass yards. So Drew Brees has over 77,000 pass yards. That's number 1. Brady, 74. That's 2. Manning, 71. That is number 3. So I did averages, basically.
Okay.
Meaning that how many pass yards do you get per year?
Okay.
Right? And I accounted for if a quarterback sat there that entire year or if they were hurt that entire year. So for Drew Brees, that's minus 1 year because he sat his rookie year to Doug Flutie. Brady, minus 2 years because he sat his rookie year.
And then he got hurt.
Blood cell and tore his ACL in 2008. Manning, that's 1 year because of 2011 and that neck injury he had. So with all of that, Drew Brees throws for an average of 4,300 yards a season. That's the most. Second is Manning with 4,231.7, so might as well add the extra yard on there. 4,232 yards a season. Brady, it's not by much, granted, but it is minus 100 yards per year. That's going to be 4,143 yards a season. Now let's go to touchdowns.
Look, Cole,
All right?
really quick, I hate arguing for Tom Brady. I really do. It really messes me up, and I don't think I'm going to get any sleep tonight. That because it's getting pretty late. Hint, hint. But you have to take into account, what kind of plays are they running? Manning throws the ball down the field. Late in his career, where does Tom Brady throw the ball most of the time, Scotty?
Check down.
Check downs.
But that's not an argument
Ben,
for Brady. That's an
Ben,
argument
I'm not
against
done
him.
yet.
Exactly.
I'm not
So
really
if he's
done
throwing the
yet.
ball underneath,
I have
it makes
so
sense
much
to
more
have
to do, Ben. You have no
fine,
idea.
Whatever. I'm moving in and out. It's been a while. It's getting late. I have work tomorrow.
I have so much more. 30. You can do a lot with 30 minutes, people. Just in case you were wondering, I learned that in those 30 minutes.
What time is it?
Touchdowns. We love touchdowns. So Drew Brees, he has the record right now, 547. 30.3 TDs a season. Brady, 541. 30.1 touchdowns a season. Manning, 31.7. So 32 touchdowns
Can
a
I
year.
jump in
That's
here?
four
Drew
touchdowns.
Brees leads in all these stats. Why
That
isn't Drew
depends
Brees
how long
the
you're
GOAT?
going to talk.
No,
That's
it's
so much
just a little thing on touchdowns. That's why I wanted to jump in right here. Brady holds the record in a certain touchdown category, which is Brady has thrown the most touchdowns to different receivers. Brady has thrown a touchdown to 77 different people. To me, in fact, and the fact that he hasn't ever been on a different team tells me that Brady has had to deal with poor offenses. They've been switching receivers in and out. They've been shifting through. They've had to change. It doesn't matter who it is. Brady can get them the ball for a touchdown.
James White is more than
Yeah,
Aaron Hernandez.
Peyton Manning has never had to deal with poor offenses because,
Yeah.
except for that 1 year, because he's Peyton Manning and he doesn't execute poor offenses except for his first and last seasons.
James White.
Quarterback.
I'm not
rating,
saying Brady.
Brady actually has him in this category in terms of quarterback rating.
Can I-
Brady has Manning.
Can I just say something to what you said just then?
Yeah, sure.
I wouldn't say Brady orchestrates poor offenses either. I'm saying the
Yeah, he
talent he had around him was poor. He turned it into something different. That's all I wanted to say there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Manning does anything any differently in that category.
Yeah, okay.
I think that the Colts definitely found some guys that are franchise wide receivers, right?
Yeah.
I don't think there's any disagreeing with that. Reggie Wayne, obviously a franchise receiver. Yeah. So, yeah, you're going to throw the ball to Reggie. But I still think that it's just, Reggie Wayne was there, but he threw the ball to other guys too. And I think the bottom line is that if you get the ball down the field, it doesn't really matter who you get it to. It matters that you get it down the field, right?
Yeah, I'm just saying that Brady could do it with anybody. And he proved that multiple times.
Interceptions, I'm going to hurt Manning's case here, all right?
Okay.
Because I'm just going to give everybody facts in major categories, okay?
Well, I'll hurt Brady's back in argument to you. When you say interceptions.
Brady does not turn the ball over.
Yeah.
He doesn't. He is number 41 all time in interceptions, is 179. By the way, it's when you get a high rank here, that's not a good thing.
Yeah.
I'm just going to throw that out there, everybody listening. So 41, that's good.
Yeah,
Peyton Manning's
Manning
9.
still holds the
and
record
for
for most
the-
interceptions among
251.
rookies.
Drew Brees is 15 with 237. So Manning, on average, is throwing about 5 more picks than Brady per year, to put that in perspective. So that definitely helps Brady's case. So what were you going to say?
I was going to say Brady doesn't throw the ball downfield as much, so he doesn't have the chance to turn it over as much. But
I agree with what Ben said. Brady is awesome at doing what he needs to do to win.
Yeah.
Those first 3
he's good
Super
at reading the
Bowls, that was
situation.
Right.
That was relying on your defense and not screwing it up.
Yeah, some
Even in
years
the
it was
last
doing
one.
that, yeah.
That was relying on your defense and not screwing it up. And Manning's had those too. But here's where I make my main argument. This is what I think resonates the most. As we mentioned before, Brady tore his ACL in 2011.
Yep.
I meant not 2011, 2008.
Yeah.
The Patriots quarterback at that time,
Yeah,
the
they
backup
did well.
quarterback who stepped in was Matt Castle. They
went
won
11-5.
11 games. They were 11-5, and I think that because I'm going to give them credit here, and I'm going to say that with the talent on that roster,
Yeah, I mean, that was
year,
the undefeated team.
that was the year after the undefeated team. Yeah. So, but let's put it this way: you're not doing it again. Obviously, that doesn't happen. You're going 14-2, let's say, right? Do you think that's a fair estimate? 14-2 for that team.
So they lost an extra 3
that's
games
a
with Brady.
3-game drop off with Brady gone. Peyton Manning got hurt in 2011, neck injury, done for the year.
Yep.
The Colts, with that team, had gone 10-6, I think, the year prior. Might have been 11-5. Won the division. But the Colts, the year after that,
Yeah.
2-14. And keep in mind, you say like Peyton Manning had all these weapons. Peyton Manning, these teams were so talented.
Yeah.
Well, then some of the names on that team that went 2-14, you had Dwight Freeney in his prime, Robert Mathis in his prime. Those are two edge rushers that led the Colts defense for so many years. Reggie Wayne was still on that team, All-Pro. Dallas Clark was still on that team, another All-Pro. Jeff Saturday, who had been Peyton Manning's center for so many years, still on that team. The guys were there. The band was still there. The conductor was gone.
Yeah.
The conductor was gone, and the rhythm was dead. And that's not a 3-game difference. That's an 8-game difference. Him being there and him not being there were 8 football games, winning and losing. Difference between winning and losing for the Colts that season. And that just shows. And to keep that in mind, the year before, so he went 10-6 with the Colts in 2010. 2009, that was a 14-2 team. Not too much change. Same coach. Reggie Wayne's still there. Dallas Clark's still there. They're all still there. It's really the same guys. 2009. That team went 14-2, went all the way to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
And they started 14-0. The only reason why they were 14-2 is because Jim Caldwell kept playing his guys for the first quarter and then said, you know what, you're done. Come out. So the difference that made, the fact that nobody on the Colts team, and I hope that nobody's offended when I say this, even because I could see if they would be, they weren't good enough without him.
Yeah.
They weren't. The Patriots were. The Patriots have been good enough
Once again,
without Brady.
Text us send us a message at Predominant Football Podcast on Instagram. We'll issue a written apology. Don't sue us, please. If we're gonna get
if
sued,
anyone
let's
on
do
that
something cool like copyright.
2011 roster wants me to issue an apology to them, I will. I think the Colts organization agreed, though, considering that there was a lot of, what's the word I'm using? I guess tearing it down after that season, except for Reggie Wayne, I would say, and Robert Mathis. I believe those were the two guys that stayed. But a lot of other guys left after that. Because Peyton Manning is the conductor. Whoever's offensive coordinator it was, it didn't matter. He had 2013 is arguably the best season a quarterback has ever had, ever. He broke the single season passing yards record previously held by Drew Brees.
Yep.
And I forget how much that is, but probably 5,000 something, because that's usually what it takes. 55 touchdown passes in 1 year.
Yep.
Brady had the record at 50, 51. Was it 50? No, it was 50, right?
50, I think.
Yeah, 50. Peyton threw 55. And do you want to know who his offensive coordinator was that year?
Who was his offensive coordinator?
Mike McCoy. Just to put that in perspective. Whereas Brady's had Josh McDaniels, who's not a great head coach, as I know from
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
fan,
neither.
but
just because you're
very good
coach
at
doesn't mean
managing
you're
an
a bad
offense.
coordinator. There's differences. Like,
Yeah.
who cares? Who cares?
So that's my main argument. Take that how you want as to why Peyton Manning is the GOAT. Granted, both of these guys, obviously very good quarterbacks. No disrespect to Tom Brady or Drew Brees, Dan Marino, Brett Favre, whoever you want to throw in there.
Yeah.
I just think, and I agree with Ben, it's hard. You can't say this guy's. It's hard to say this guy's the best, but
Yeah.
I believe
Certainly tried,
Peyton
though,
Manning
Cole.
is, and that is the main reason.
Cole, I will give you credit. You did try.
All right. Since it's getting late, I would say you've gone twice. I've gone once. Can I go a second time, and then we'll wrap it up?
Well, it depends, but all right for now. Yeah.
Cole, you don't get to talk about taking things long.
So one thing I wanted to say first was you can agree that, like, across those stats that you were looking at, Brady, Manning, and Brees were all incredible quarterbacks, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they were all up there at the very best level, right?
They're okay.
They're all up there,
Okay.
right?
Ben's like he can do better.
They're all
I
up
can do
there.
better.
But they played in Jordan's era, though.
But I'm just saying, they're all up there. They're all at a very close level. They're all very close to each other statistically. You know where they're not close? Rings. Yeah.
I was
And I
wondering
mean,
when we would come to this.
Oh, the rings. I was wondering when this would
yeah.
come.
Well, and I didn't want to bring it up because everybody knew it was going to come. But, like, in the stats that Cole's reading off, look how close all these guys are. Brady has double the amount of rings Manning has.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I'm saying, yes,
I think
Manning
it's triple.
statistically was a better quarterback. But Brady's not far behind. As far as winning games, Brady was the better quarterback. As far as winning championships, Brady was the better quarterback.
Wait, Scotty.
And in winning
is there a
championships,
difference
Manning wasn't very close behind.
Is
And
there
I
a
mean, I
difference?
guess 3 to 6 is different, but championships take a lot.
It's 2 to
That's what
6.
Cole-
I'm going to help you out.
that's
here.
what
Oh,
Cole-
2
that's
to
what-
6, even more.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
that's what Cole says when we talk about the Broncos and the Steelers Patriots rings.
Yeah.
6 aren't that far.
That's
to put rings into perspective. Roethlisberger has as many rings as Manning.
yeah.
Both Mannings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, Eli's the GOAT confirmed.
Eli
He beat
Manning
Brady
has
twice.
as many rings as Peyton Manning.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And I would say just that's one thing to consider, that they're close in stats.
Everything's
Rings, they're not
relative.
close. I'm trying to go faster so I could get this done with. I'll give Manning. He has the record for most seasons in a row with 12 or more wins. You want to know how he did those seasons in the playoffs? He was 9-6 in the playoffs in those 7 seasons, with just 1 Super Bowl and 2 NFC Championship appearances.
NFC.
AFC
That's pretty
Championship.
impressive.
Why does it say NFC? Look at this. It says NFC. Whatever.
That's okay because we want Bleacher Report to sponsor us.
You can make the argument Manning should have won more Super Bowls. He had the opportunity to win more Super Bowls. So could have Brady. Twice he could have beaten.
Yeah,
Twice he
definitely.
could have beaten the Giants, and once he could have beaten the Eagles. None of those Super Bowls that were close were blowouts. So,
Yeah.
I got a few topics to touch on real quick. Game-winning drives. Brady does it. Manning does it too, but Brady is the consistent game-winning drive guy. If I'm at the end of the game, and Cole, you might disagree with this, if I'm at the end of the game and I want any quarterback, I want Brady because he knows what he's doing
No,
at the end of the game.
I'll agree with you on that, actually. Yeah, Brady. He's the fourth quarter guy. He's the comeback king. Nobody's disputing that. Yeah.
I mean,
I do think that impact resonates more than rings, though. I think that Brady, you will obviously disagree with this because of the point you made with that 2013 season. But the bottom line is he had a consistent coaching staff throughout his entire career. Peyton did not.
But
he had anything but.
that touchdown.
Frankly, what I found is I was watching a show called The America's Game, based on the 2002 Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and you're wondering how does the 2002 Tampa Bay Buccaneers relate to Peyton Manning? Well, here's how. John Gruden was the coach of 2002 Bucks. The year
John
before
Gruden
that,
coached
it
the
was
Raiders,
Tony Dungy's
and Peyton
team.
Manning played
And
the
what
Raiders. Illuminati
what
confirmed.
What people said in those interviews was Tony Dungy was all about the defense, but this is according to the players, Warren Sapp most specifically. He said that Tony Dungy was just really relaxed on the offense. He was a defensive guy. He just kind of let the offense do their own thing, and you know what? He couldn't get away with that in Tampa. In Indy, yeah, he can get away with that.
Isn't that
Yeah, well,
somehow?
that's
Manning.
Belichick. You just described Belichick.
Yeah.
Belichick is a defensive genius. Since Patricia left, they haven't named a defensive coordinator since Patricia left. Because you know who's calling the plays defensively? Matt Patricia. Or I mean, Belichick, sorry.
Wow.
Because he left.
No wonder the Lions are so bad because Matt Patricia's calling Patriots games. So.
He leaves the offense in the hands, and you might say in the hands of Josh McDaniels, but that was Brady's offense.
I think we should call
Brady
it-
was there more
I
than
think we should call
Brady
it-
was there longer than McDaniels.
Patricia's like, I think
Brady was the consistent figure in that offense,
Patricia's
not McDaniels.
Patricia's like, I think we
Here's
should
why
call
I
a
gotta
cover 2
disagree
defense.
with you.
Matthew Stafford's like, it's first and
Can-
10 for us.
Peyton Manning, McDaniels is obviously the offensive coordinator. You know, he has control over that, right?
Yeah,
Do you disagree with me there? It's Peyton's offense. It really is. obviously the offensive coordinator has a system that he wants to implicate, and I can speak to when Peyton Manning first got to Denver.
Yeah.
It was sort of a hybrid offense because Mike McCoy had his stuff, and he said, Peyton, can you run this? Can you run these plays? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I'd say it was about 65% Peyton's offense that he brought in from Indianapolis.
Well, then what does
he
the
said,
coaching staff have to do with
this, and he executed it beautifully.
Wait,
Yeah.
Cole,
Then what does having a bad
Peyton
coaching
calls the
staff
plays-
matter if Peyton's
Again,
calling the plays?
I like Peyton Manning a lot. I like Peyton Manning more than Tom Brady. And I hate having to argue for Brady against Manning. But if Manning's
you don't
calling the
have to.
plays, what's the big deal about coaching?
Yeah, and to me, I'm just like, remember that thing they had, the greatest players of all time list that they came out with, and Manning and Brady, of course, were both on that list. When they were talking about Peyton Manning, they had Brady on the show, and Brady was talking about this play call that Manning had basically like invented in Indianapolis. Mm-hmm. And apparently that Manning and Brady were together for whatever reason, and Manning told him or something. Manning somehow.
I remember this. It was a protection scheme, and then Brady.
Brought it to the Patriots. So my argument is, like, Brady has the same amount of power. Brady can say, "Hey, look, this is what's working for another team, or this is what I think is going to work, or this is what I want to do," and he can implement it.
But guys,
you
Peyton Manning
could
won the
argue
golf, so it must be
that.
the
You
GOAT.
could, and you did, right?
Yeah.
But here's what I think. I don't think Brady has a say. Peyton has control. And there's a difference between say and control. Peyton, you see him going, Omaha, Sally, hey, move over here.
Yeah.
The coach is on the field with you. The offensive coordinator is on the field with you, which allows a defensive coach to work over to the defense and make that better.
I would say
Peyton Manning was I think he's the best at moving protections. I think he's the best at reading defenses. I think he's the best at all that, and I think that he is the best quarterback of all time. I want to add something about best player because I do think that there are a lot of non-quarterbacks like Jerry Rice and Lawrence Taylor that could be considered for the greatest of all time that aren't quarterbacks. So I think that could be a discussion.
I would love to do that, and that could be a whole other thing, but it's been...
Yeah, I just want to finish what I was what I was planning to say beforehand while you were talking. But what was I just had something. I won't say that Brady was as good as Manning was, but if you watch as many Patriots games as I do, you see Brady. He tells his players what to do, whether it be on the sideline or in games. Brady tells his player what to do. There's one video that I really like where he literally, you can hear it through the TV broadcast. He's like, Gronk, stand up. It's a little thing, but I really like it.
Yeah.
But Brady's out there. You got the blue 42, Rex Ryan. Like, just calling the audibles. Every quarterback does it. I'm not going to say he does it better than Manning, but real quick, Brady has the win in head-to-head wins. Manning has it in the playoffs. But overall, Brady has the lead there. Touchdown to interception ratio.
Oh, yeah, Brady kills there.
Brady has a 2.35. Manning has a 2.06.
Because Manning threw a lot of fourth quarter interceptions.
Championship games. In 8 seasons, Brady had gone to 5. And in 12 seasons, Manning had gone to 4.
Yeah. 2-0 against Tom Brady.
Super Bowls.
2-1, my bad. There was that one in 2003, was it? Right? In the snow?
Yeah.
When Brady's defense beat Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
And then the next two, Peyton Manning won.
Yeah. Super Bowls, we already touched on it. Brady has won 6 and lost 3. Manning has what? 1, 2, and lost
1, 2, and lost 2, yeah.
Lost 2, okay. Winning percentages. Brady has a 77% winning percentage, and these are really team stats. I'm not going to deny that. But Brady's a part of the team.
That's what they are.
77%, 67%. Playoffs. Brady, and this is an old thing, but Brady is better in the playoffs. Overtime games. Brady's won more games in overtime.
Okay.
Out of the gate.
One more games
in his first 4 seasons, Brady went 48-16, won all 7 overtime games he played, got to the playoffs 3 times, went 9-0 in the playoffs, and won 3 Super Bowls. In Manning's first 4 seasons, he was 32-32, got to the playoffs twice, went 0-2.
All right, that's the first 4 seasons. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. We're not going to agree on this, and we're really late into this.
Bottom line is that I think that what's most important is how your team did when that guy wasn't there. That shows how valuable you are to that team.
Yeah,
and bottom line is that it's an 8-game difference when Manning's not there. It's a 3-game difference when Brady's not there. That's what it is.
We'll just see how that happens when we see New England go 4-12 next year.
Well,
with
again, yeah,
Stidham
we'll
at
see.
quarterback.
But then again, like you said, your team wasn't very good, so we'll see.
Yeah, we weren't very good, and we still won the division again.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, if you guys go 4-12, then maybe you have an argument. I haven't seen it yet because so far when he's gone, and this counts the 4-game suspension.
I'm just like,
he's 14-6 without him.
You're gonna have to write a written apology if they go 5-1. Or God forbid make the playoffs.
I'm just, and last thing I'm gonna say. What's the general consensus on this? What do the majority of people say? If you ask everybody in America, the majority of people are going to say Brady. That's my final argument. That's it for today because it has been an hour 50, which is way too long, and I have to wake up at 6 a.m. tomorrow, and so does Ben. Yeah. So, quick announcement. I will not be there for Sunday's YouTube video, but we will have a guest. Host of the Bird Files, Mason Burdett, is going to be on.
Should be fun.
So, yeah. I also have something possibly in the works as far as fantasy football that I'm hoping in the future I can get some help with these two on. Thank you to Big C as always. Thanks to YouTube and Instagram. Thank you to me, who is I'm Handsome Now Me, for some of the music. I did not get a new haircut. Thanks to Sound Effects for the sound effects.
We wish you had used you a bit more often.
Yeah, Ben wishes he had used you a bit more.
Heat of the moment, it just slipped out.
Most importantly, thank you to you guys. Keep listening, keep liking, keep subscribing, keep commenting, keep interacting, and we'll keep doing this.
Yeah. Holy crap,
that's all, everyone.
It was an hour ago I said the F word.
Yeah. Stay safe, and we'll see you on Sunday.
Bye.